Ask the average person, where does your food come from? Who grows it? How's it grown? Most people simply don't know. We intend to find out. We're in the farmers market in Manhattan in New York City, and this is probably the most popular one. This is Union Square. You have a combination of organic markets of all types, from mushrooms and fruits to vegetables and flowers, and you also have your regular farmer as well. The question is, what do people know about their food? Why do they shop here? And what do they know about genetically engineered foods? What do they know about organic foods? I'm asked all the time, why should I pay more for food, sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50% more, because it's locally grown? So what if it's locally grown? Well, there's a lot to know about how our food is grown, where it's grown, the conditions under which it's grown. Is it organic, certified organic? Is it genetically engineered? And what does a farmer go through that really justifies this increased price? But also, have you ever noticed how tasteless most of the tomatoes and peaches, how pithy and dry they are? Most of this stuff is actually tree ripened, vine ripened. They hold it until it's really solid and full, then they harvest it. So when you get it, you're getting at the height of its sugar content and its enzyme content, which gives it its flavor. Otherwise, it's all commercially packed, put into a box, frequently gassed, and then by the time you get it, it might look okay, but there's no taste. So we're going to talk with some of these people here. We have fresh sprouts, and we have mushrooms, we have fresh produce. I see peaches. We're at the farmers market, the largest one in the New York area, probably the largest one in the New York State area. This is called Union Square. I've been coming here for as long as it's been open on Saturdays to support local farming and support organic. So we're going to talk with people. It'll be interesting to see what they have to say, both the farmers and the people shopping here. This is arugula. These are called microgreens. This is a mix. The mix means that where normally a whole arugula might take 45 days to grow, this might grow in under 30 days. And they're sweeter. They have a more dynamic flavor. In fact, the larger the arugula, the more mature the arugula, generally the more bitter it is. And the microgreens, this is what a lot of chefs are using, a lot of upscale restaurants. Then they have the broccoli sprouts, very important for preventing cancer. And they're very reasonably priced, $2 for a box. Now that's actually cheaper than what you could buy them in a health food store. So frequently you actually find items that are less expensive in a farmer's market because this guy has to grow everything, harvest it, wash it, spin it, put it in these coolers, bring it down here, and then he has to get rid of it because he didn't want to take anything back because there's no market back at home. He'd have to eat it or throw it away. So they price stuff to really move in and out. So you know this is good. This was harvested yesterday. You're going to buy it today and you'll eat it today or tomorrow. This is something we have not historically seen much of in farmers markets. Large variety of wonderful herbs, like they have spearmint, orange mint, that's rare. Thai basil, purple basil, sweet basil, I like the lemon basil, and cinnamon basil, chocolate mint, all of these, sage, purple sage, and lots of restaurants buy these, but also more and more people are appreciating what herbs do and not only bringing up the flavor of a dish, but also adding medicinal values, like sage is medicinal, peppermint is medicinal, basil is medicinal. These are great for you. Look at marjoram, stevia, that's a sweetener, thyme, chives, parsley, oregano. Oregano has natural antibacterial, antifungal. In fact, anytime you're getting sick, if you have the wild oregano oil, it's terrific for your throat and killing microorganisms. Teas, lemon. Lovage, sorrel, feverfew. Feverfew is great for a headache. Rosemary, tarragon. Wonderful aroma. Love and lavender. You're also seeing peppers. Not long ago, I was in Immokalee down in Florida, just due east of Naples. And it's the last town before you hit the Everglades, going across the state. And it's where an awful lot of farms are. And they have at least 100 different variety of, in the Latino community, 100 different variety of peppers. But it's good to see people are having pepper. Why would you come here instead of going to a regular supermarket?
Because we're with our grandsons.
But with quality, freshness.
Do you buy regular, organic? What do you buy?
Organic for the most part.
Good. Now, what would you suggest would be your rationale for wanting to support a local market versus a supermarket?
Oh gosh, I support local businesses wherever I can. We do it in New York, we do it in the neighborhood, we live in this neighborhood. So for us, supporting local producers is extremely important. I don't need to tell you how important it is not to be using fertilizers and not to be using a lot of products, chemical products that big farm uses. So
You're also, why do you shop here? Why do you support a local farmer's market?
Because so many reasons. We're vegetarian. I like to get food that's not gone through a million processes. Yeah, and Dylan, are you vegetarian? Yeah. You know, support farmers, support local farming, things that aren't shipped from so far away, and trying to have stuff that's either organic or low pesticide. And so for him to learn where food comes, all of those reasons. It's better to, you know, keep big agribusiness like Monsanto out and support local farmers and know where your food comes from. So
You care about supporting farmers, sustainability, organic.
And, you know, we try and take him to, you know, local community gardens so he can see where food comes from. Like, he wasn't eating tomatoes, and then we went to a garden and he picked it and ate it, and then after he did that, then now he wants them all the time. So
Is this your newest one under there?
my newest one.
Oh.
And see, he's only just turned 3. He's vegetarian and, you know, eats healthy and organic, and he's like huge. So. Oh yeah, you got flowers?
Yeah, we're gonna take them home.
How's that tomato, Dylan?
Your father and I used to work together on WBAI
Oh really?
years ago.
So funny. Yeah.
How does it feel to have a father so conscious of social issues that he goes around the world trying to help other people all the time?
And it's a great lesson for the kids to grow up around. I took him to Catskill Animal Sanctuary to learn about animals. Dylan, what we learn at the farm about animals?
Animals have feelings too? You bet they do.
So, yes, you know, you teach them to learn, you know, so it's really great. So what, you're doing a TV program?
I'm doing a documentary on being more conscious of the choices we make. When people sit in a restaurant, they eat a veal, they don't know where that veal came from, they don't know how it suffered.
Right.
They're eating cheese, they're eating pesticides, genetically engineered. They're not conscious of this. Fried foods, deep fried foods, pizzas, hot dogs, hamburgers. And then one day they end up with diabetes, their kids end up with diabetes. Your kid's a healthy kid.
Yeah,
He's very large for 3.
Here's an example. So he, in his daycare, Friday was McDonald's day. So I pulled him out of daycare for lunch and took him out and got him some healthy food because, you know, I just,
McDonald's
you know,
Day.
McDonald's Day at daycare.
It was McDonald's Day at daycare.
You would think with all the discussion that daycare wouldn't have a treat to go to McDonald's.
And I was just like, I don't even want him sitting next to someone having it, you know, so, you know, getting the kids Happy Meals at daycare, and he's 3 years old, you know, I'm
Yellow
like,
flowers.
so it's a struggle, you know, and I think like, I think a lot of people think I'm too strict with him in terms of like less sugar and not as many, you know, treats, but like, you know, you can we have blueberries and, you know, fruits and all sorts of delicious stuff. And
Well, look what you don't have. Tooth cavities, hyperactivity, diabetes, heart disease at a young age,
I love
obesity.
flowers.
So if they think you're a little eccentric or a little extreme, ask them how extreme is having a child now who will not outlive their parents.
Right.
That's extreme.
And the thing is that they like what they get used to, right? So he eats plain yogurt. He doesn't have to have like Go-Gurt with colors and sugar and flavor or something. He likes it. I give him that. I give him make oatmeal with wheat germ and flax, and brown and cinnamon, and that's it. No sugar, and he loves it. So it's like they'll eat what they, you don't have to get everything.
For all the
junk food.
parents in America, the younger parents who are raising children, you have two? Okay. And you chose to be a vegetarian. What message would you have for them? Because
For
they're
other
going to get for other parents, because they're going to get hassled, they're going to get ridiculed and mocked for their choices.
Well, I mean, I think just like sticking to your beliefs on it, and I think a lot, especially kids, are naturally animal lovers, and if they understand that meat comes from animals and you're eating an animal, that's something they're not as interested in. But I mean, the thing is that like up until 3 years old, like now, he just eats what what he's given. So when he gets older, if he wants to make his own choice, he can make his own choice. But for now, if it's a choice to eat meat too, and people don't understand that. They think it's only a choice to be a vegetarian, that you're making a choice either way. So this is our choice. And I think like what I've tried to do is introduce him to farms and animals, and so he kind of develops a bond for that, and then slowly introduce the vegetarian idea. But it's hard. I mean, he's the only kid in daycare that's vegetarian.
Only one?
But yeah, it's hard. You have a lot up against you in terms of, I think a lot of adults are vegetarian, but I mean, I think, okay, I'm just making sure.
Okay.
I think that it's easier because he's so obviously healthy. He never gets sick. He's never had an aspirin or a Tylenol or antibiotics, and he's 3. He's never had an
ear infection.
No. I mean, he was breastfed for 18 months, never had formula. So.
What about his vaccines?
He did get vaccines. So, that was a big, hard decision for me.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing this with us. And congratulations
It's
on
something that I think about a lot.
caring about your child enough to educate yourself about food.
Yeah. No, it's a huge issue now. I mean, the Monsanto stuff makes me crazy, the whole agribusiness, and that I think people don't realize that some foods are extinct. Like corn, as we know it used to be, is kind of extinct, and
It used to be 200,000 varieties of
and it used to have protein.
of rice. I'm going over to India to film Vandana Shiva, where she has the last remaining 6,000 varieties of rice. 6,000. The average American knows 2.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
You go down to Mexico, and corn was the staple of Mexico, and at one time it was self-sustaining.
Right.
After NAFTA was passed, there was a line in Laredo, 10 miles long, waiting to come across the border. And now Mexico is dependent on American corn, American agri-products.
Haiti was the same way. Haiti used to produce all of its own rice. Then Bill Clinton gets in, and through his NAFTA and World Trade Organization, now they imported rice cheaper than what they could make it, so therefore everybody gave up making rice.
Exactly.
Now look what that led
And
to.
they're dependent on big agriculture.
Yeah.
So
But that was
Monsanto dominates
but they won. Smooth talking politicians became more important than
But it's important for us to
starvation.
keep doing, and your message is a very important message to keep getting out.
Now you're from New York State?
Yes, Catskill, New York.
Oh, good. How long have you been growing your mushrooms?
For 65 years.
Wow. So it's
Been in
in
my family for that long.
now. These that you grow, your shiitake, your cap, your oysters, your reminisce, are these the same price or a different price, higher or low than what they would find in a supermarket?
They're roughly about the same.
Okay. How long does it take to grow a shiitake or a portobello?
Roughly 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks?
Picking, and then you only get a few weeks of picking, and you have to start the cycle all over again.
Are you finding that people are really appreciating what you're doing here?
Yes,
You have regular customers then?
regular customers.
Oh, great. Would you recommend people looking to do sustainable homestead projects looking into doing mushroom growing around the United States? Is it hard?
In their homes, yeah, it's hard. You have to create the right environment. It's all indoors, but it has to be about 68 to 70 degrees, very moist environment.
Good.
And plus this sterilization process. You have to. We use steam boilers to steam sterilize it. There's no chemicals that way. Just high temperatures.
These are not grown on manure then?
These are grown on oak hardwood. These are grown on straw and a hardwood too. They can grow on both. These are grown on compost.
What about the portobello?
Same thing, compost.
Compost? Well, this is great. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing it. Do you think most people are aware of what happens when we have colony collapse and how important the bees are to pollination?
Actually, from what I see at this table, and of course I may get the cross-section of the population that is more aware, a lot of people are. You know that something like 70% of our food is pollinated by bees, and, but like I said, that's from the perspective of selling this product. So the folks that come to this table already know a bit more about honey than the guys who would buy a cooked one in the store, you know. But they have found that most of the major cause of colony collapse being a pesticide. You're getting drugs, so.
Therefore, if we were doing more organic gardening and less of the pesticide and genetic engineering, then you'd have more healthy bees, and hence you wouldn't have the colony collapse.
It's actually a pesticide that they put on the seeds, and it systemically goes through the plant. And therefore you can't escape it. You know, once it's on the seed, the plant takes it up, it's in the leaves of the plant, and then in pollen and everything, and it only takes a couple parts per million to disorient the bees and get them lost. So,
how many beehives do you all have?
Alan has 500 colonies on 900 square miles up in the Finger Lakes. Fortunately, we're not exposed to that. You know, it's all wildflower honeys. These aren't from cultivated crops.
So these are all wild?
Yeah.
That's great. So you're around the bees all the time?
Well, he is. I'm down here in the city on the weekend selling it. He's the guy that makes all the magic possible.
Are you? Now, a lot of the honey coming in the United States is coming from China, and it's not really pure honey. This says pure, raw, and unfiltered.
Yeah, that's
this is the way you got to buy it.
So yeah, it's like most other foods. The less you do to it, the better it is.
Well, I like that. Well, good. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Anytime.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you have to do in order to be able to grow all that you're growing here? I see you got the vegetables and tubers and sprouts.
Well, right now things are a little bit rough from all the heat, so you have to deal with the Mother Nature. She's the number one priority. She tells you if you're going to have things good or not, since we have, 3 weeks of extreme heat. Bye, guys. This is my wife, Denise.
Hello. Hi, Denise.
Gary, Null. He's asking about what we do.
Well, I'm interested in raising people's consciousness about foods.
This is shallots.
Shallots.
This is what shallots actually are very clean, what they look like when they come out of the field. This is what they look like when we prepare them. So
now, why wouldn't you use genetically engineered seeds, and why wouldn't you use pesticides like so many other farmers do?
Glad you asked. We've been organic since 1976. My mom and dad started back in 1976. They started here in 1982. They were organic before the certifying agencies or anybody else even came around. And back then, people asked, well, how can you be organic? And the famous answer is, and still is how the Indians do it. And anybody else do it. Common sense, extra work, and you do things and keep it clean. Try to, anyway. You know, if you get weeds, and you just weed them out. We use row cover, which is kind of like a cheesecloth. It's a very fine mesh that lets air, light, and water in and keeps the bugs out.
And weeds?
No.
No?
No. Weeds grow. Because if the weeds didn't grow, then the plants wouldn't grow.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that we won't grow because of it. The cabbage we won't grow because not unless it's covered each one specifically because it's labor intensive. Otherwise, you get that butter cabbage one.
Are you able to grow things 12 months a year?
Yeah, we do. We come here year round.
You have a greenhouse then?
Yep. And one part, the biggest part is that people depend on us. There's a lot of people who are chemical sensitive. And when they come here, they know that we don't use nothing. We don't use no chemicals. We use chicken manure. We use limestone. And within the past, not the last 3 years, but every year before that, we used to get bags and bags and bags of leaves, spread them out in the fall, and then let them rot in the winter and the spring, light it on fire. That would give us potash, and then we plow it under for composition. But the other part, sorry about the question that you asked about the GMOs, is because that's suicide.
Do you find that more and more people are aware of the choice between organic and GMOs? Or do you think the average person is clueless?
Clueless.
Clueless?
But the number one reason about what she said, as far as with the organic, our daughter, she's 7, and we don't have to say, oh no, you got to wash it, or oh no, you got to peel it. She can just eat whatever she wants, and she never has to worry about
running around on something that's been sprayed.
Never.
Us personally, we wouldn't want that.
A friend of mine from Pennsylvania called the other day. I said, how you doing? He says, oh, I got a headache. I said, from what? He said, I was spraying for bugs. I said, well, did you wear a mask? He goes, no. I said, well, that's not too smart. I said, you were spraying what? Insecticides. To do what? To kill bugs. So you know what you're doing to your nervous system? And he says, yeah, you're right. 2 days later, he did it again. So he sprayed twice within 3 days. This is an onion. This is our onion. This is a Dutch onion. It's grown without chemicals. The average onion is sprayed 9 times from start to finish. Onions grow in layers. So every time you get a chemical, it overlaps, it overlaps, and overlaps. People said the farmers or whoever spraying it said, well, it's safe. I'm a nice Tyvek student and mashing guy. I guess it is safe.
There's an effort right now in California. We have a referendum on the ballot for November to challenge the idea that genetically engineered food should be labeled. So a person has a choice. They can go into the market and see something. If it's labeled, they can buy it. Or if not, they can walk away from it. Do you support the labeling of foods that are...
110,000%. Actually this market is GMO free too.
It is. The whole market? The entire...
Whole market,
I wasn't aware of
everybody
that.
took an oath, and it's, to my understanding, is to be 100% GMO free.
I didn't know that. Wow. That's cool.
Yep. They, like a lettuce head, they'll take a gene from a blowfish, and they'll hook it on a virus, and they'll put it on a lettuce seed, and what happens is that lettuce seed, that lettuce, when it grows, can take a freeze. It won't die. Why? The thing is, it's in the stores, people buy it. What about the poor slob who's allergic to fish? They don't know nothing about it. There's a gene from that blowfish in that lettuce. Years ago, we went to Rutgers for the USDA that wanted to pass a whole bunch of organic standards, industrial, residential, and sewer sludge. One is full of metals, one's full of bacteria. The GMOs, which is why, and the other one was irradiation. Irradiation is, you can go to any of these farms here, buy yourself a peach, plum, nectarine, put it on the counter. Guarantee in a couple of days, once it's out or whatever, it's going to rot. You go to any store, buy yourself a peach, put it on the countertop, it's not going to rot. It's going to fade. The outside is going to get prunish looking. The inside is going to be mealy. That's not tree-rotted fruit. That's irradiated fruit. The reason why they do that is so it has a longer shelf life.
Well, we appreciate you giving us this insight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The market here is just an L. It's about a block long this way, and it's about 2 blocks this way. I'm guessing there are 200 or 300 booths here. But there's one farmer's market in the United States. I believe it's the largest one. It's certainly the largest one I've ever been to, and it's down in Dallas, Texas. Let's see if we can find some old film footage from 20 years ago when I visited it. and it's only grown since that time. It's about the size of 4 football fields. It's about maybe 5 times the size of this or bigger. I still want to ask more people on the street. We're going to do something a little different because the people here, since I just was told that nothing here is with genetically engineered material, they've taken a vow not to use it. So none of these people use GMO foods. Let's go on the street. Let's go outside of here because you got to figure people are a little more aware to be here of the choices they're making. And we'll talk with the average person on the street. Also, we're really close to New York University and then Columbia University uptown. Let's go to 2 universities and talk with college students, graduate students, and their professors. And let's see if they're as conscious of the role of GMO. And would they buy a product if it were labeled GMO? Would they buy it off a menu on a restaurant if it was GMO? Hi, got a question for you.
Yep.
How long does it take to ferment your pickles into where you can sell them?
We use the vinegar, so we don't do like the salt deal. It actually takes 2 weeks for us to get it all finished.
Just 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow. Looks like it's a very popular stand.
Today it is, so definitely.
Are you finding that people are more conscious of the health choices? Because these are healthy choices. They replenish a lot of the good bacteria in your body.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really good for anyone that can't have too much salt or any sodium in their diet.
Good. Thank you. If this bread was labeled GMO bread, would you buy it?
No.
Good. Why not?
Because nature does a better thing for us, and not like to support Monsanto.
Good. So you come here to support a sustainable environment.
Well, I want to eat healthy.
Excellent.
So I can go to a supermarket, or I can go directly from people that, I don't know, live more towards nature.
And you?
I just do what he tells me.
Oh. If the fish that you just bought was labeled GMO, genetically modified, would you buy it?
Well, I probably wouldn't buy it here. That's why I come to a farmer's market.
Do you come here to support local farmers?
Pardon?
Why do you come to the local farmers market?
To get fresh ingredients, support local business, farmers, etc. Yeah.
Good. What brings you here to the farmers market?
Oh, I love fresh produce, and I want to support independent farmers any day over a supermarket.
If you saw something labeled genetically engineered, would you buy it?
I'm sorry?
If you saw this lettuce,
Genetically engineered?
would you buy
Absolutely
it?
not.
Why not?
Because the body is all we have, and you have to take care of that body. And if you don't, you're going to have a lot of trouble.
So you like to buy organic?
Absolutely.
You feel different?
I do.
First, I commend you for doing a really nice presentation. Because you know, and I know that I'm a certified organic farmer also.
Oh, are you? Oh,
Yeah.
good.
We both know that this is going to last longer. The others that are going to be wilted later today if they didn't get the heat out.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you've done here. You've done a beautiful job of the butterhead lettuce, the crisp head lettuce, the wild garden mix.
We sell certified organic, open pollinated vegetable transplants. And I also like to sell them season appropriate and a wide variety of choices. So instead of 2 or 3 choices for a butterhead, I sell actually about 100 varieties of lettuce.
Wow.
And so in the spring, I bring spring lettuces in. In the heat of summer, which is now, I bring in lettuces that stand the heat better. And then in the fall, I bring in lettuces that do well with the cool and go into winter.
How long will one of these last in someone's refrigerator? Or
well, these are not finished products. These are actually transplants. They're to be planted. So if you put them in the refrigerator, they don't do well.
All right.
Because they're actually to be planted in a garden or into a pot.
So can I put this on the windowsill?
I consider lettuces the easiest of all my plants to grow. And it's a great plant for a city person who has very limited space because lettuce only needs this much depth in soil in a pot. And so the long ones, you can do that, yeah.
how long did it take you to grow it to this level? About 3 or 4 inches, 5 inches?
We planted these up about 6.5, 7 weeks ago.
So a couple of months.
A couple of months.
But
and
you know,
they've been-
restaurants are using this as microgreens.
I actually do sell to some chefs that use them in that very manner. But I don't sell a finished product like other produce people
Right.
here. I only sell the plant, and they do buy them for the plate.
And how much longer, if this woman's growing these on her windowsill in the city, how long till it gets to be a full plant?
Well, it's pretty close to being pickable now, but I like to tell people to let them get their roots established, which takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks. But you can, as soon as they're in the pot, if you have some large leaves, you pick the outside leaves. And then as the plant continues to grow, because it's a leaf lettuce as opposed to a heading style, you continue to pick the outside leaves. If you take the interior leaves, where the growth comes from, it's done. But you just pick and pick and pick, and then at one day the plant decides to do what it's really supposed to do, which is make seed for next year's crops. The plant starts to lengthen out. The leaves it bolts. It becomes bitter, and it's the plant's way of telling the animal that's eating it, you, to stop because it has a job to do. And then it's time for you to get new ones.
I had one redhead this year grow, and I picked it for 6 months.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
6 months from one head.
From one head.
I
Wow.
would go to each head and take one leaf each day. So I get a big bowl because I had a lot of heads.
Right.
But they just kept growing.
Oh, how nice. That's very nice.
Well, you've done something great here. Do you believe people are more conscious of the difference between your organic produce and some that are genetically engineered?
Well, as a certified organic grower, I'm not even allowed to do a GMO type plant. It's
Right.
against the law. And I wouldn't do it even if I weren't certified. I have customers that really don't care. They just want food. They want a plant. They don't care. And I have other customers, really probably the majority of them, that are very conscious of that sort of thing. And they do speak their mind. And they speak their mind and they speak with their wallets as well.
So we're wrapping up here at the Farmers Market, Union Square, Manhattan. We've spoken with a lot of people, and the overwhelming consensus is people are here to support local, sustainable agriculture, most organic. In fact, they have more organic growers here than ever before in their history, and to a person they said no, they would not buy genetically engineered food if it was here or if it was labeled in a restaurant or some supermarket. So if Monsanto and DuPont and Bayer believe in freedom of choice in the marketplace, go ahead and label your products. Do your advertising campaign. Hire your celebrity scientists and other celebrities, buy the ads, and then let's see how many people actually buy your product. If you have confidence in the marketability of your genetically modified product, then why should you be fighting with tens of millions of dollars the referendum in California and in every state? Why should you use? So here's the takeaway message, at least for me today, being here and interviewing so many people at the farmers market. They're here to support locally grown produce and handcrafted products from local people. Most of the time they're buying organic. And to a person they said if something is labeled GMO, they wouldn't buy it. They're conscious of the dangers of genetically modified organisms. So my message to Monsanto and DuPont, the other GMO companies, if you really believe in the free market system, label your product. Put the information out there. And then people have a choice to buy it or not. Let's see if you still have the same market share. Now we're going to talk with some people out on the street. Not ones who come specifically to support it. So more average, normal population group. In order to get some more educated opinion about the significance of genetically engineered foods, we're in front of Columbia University. This is the gate to the main campus, and we have thousands of students and faculty here and graduate students. Across the street is Barnard College. So we thought we'd ask, what do people know about genetic engineering, and would they buy foods if they were labeled genetically engineered? With lots of people coming and going, let's talk with some of them. If you saw food that was labeled genetically modified, would you buy it?
I mean, quite honestly, that was what to me.
Do you know what a genetically modified food is?
Oh, yeah. Probably.
You would buy it?
It depends.
Would you buy organic?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. If you had a choice of buying genetically modified food or seeing it labeled, would you like it labeled and would you buy it or buy organic?
I was just listening to that last night on a TV show about GMOs. Yeah, and they were saying they were trying to get it in California, I think, to...
On the ballot. It is on the ballot.
On the ballot out there.
To vote.
Answer the question again.
If you sold some food in a restaurant and it said GMO, if you sold it in a supermarket and it said GMO, would you buy it?
No.
Why not?
Well, it's contaminated. It's fake. It's contaminated.
It's been altered.
Yes, right.
Good. Would you buy organic?
Oh, I do buy organic.
You do buy organic. Why?
Well, because the nutritional value, basically.
Healthier?
Healthier.
Cleaner?
Cleaner, right.
Would you care how your food's grown?
Yeah, I would definitely buy organic.
You would definitely buy organic?
Yeah.
All right, so do you believe that we should label the food so at least you would know?
Yeah, that'd probably be good because I think a lot of people just don't know.
They don't. And you, what would be your choice?
Between the two.
Yes, organic or genetically engineered?
It's sort of an it depends. If it was, I'm more concerned about pesticides than whether it's organic or genetically engineered.
You're getting no pesticides on organic.
I know, and so genetically engineered, it might have pesticides.
It will have pesticides.
Yeah, so I picked the organic for that reason.
Organic 100%.
Organic 100%?
Yes.
Why?
GMOs are not good for the environment at all.
Now we're at a little different place on Broadway. We're on the Upper West Side. This is considered the kind of professional area. There are a lot of families. There are people from lots of backgrounds, well-educated people. You're a chef?
Yes, I am.
All right. Denise.
Yes, Denise.
Denise, I'm going to ask you a basic question. Would you prefer to see foods labeled based upon how they're grown, organic or genetically modified?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it gives me a choice what I want to put inside my body.
All right.
If I choose not to have anything with chemicals, I'd like to see that label.
Would you eat genetically engineered?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's never been proven if it's healthy. It hasn't been tested, so why should I put it in my body? Natural is good.
But the USDA and the FDA says that they are equivalent. Therefore, you should have no concerns. Organic and genetically modified are virtually the same. Would you challenge the FDA and the USDA?
I absolutely do challenge them.
Why?
Because I choose to put what I want in my body. I want what's safe, what's natural, what's organic. And that's what I choose to put in my body, and I feel it should be labeled.
Is this how you eat?
Yes, absolutely, every single day.
All right, do you have children?
Yes.
All right, and how do you feed your children?
My children eat the same thing that I eat, anything that's not genetically modified and anything that's organic.
So you eat only organic and not genetically modified?
That's correct.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yes, I am.
Are you a vegan?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And your husband?
He's on his way. He's trying.
Good.
But,
do you
yeah.
feel it's made a difference in your health?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
How would you know?
Well, I had a son that was autistic, and now he's not. So.
And you feel this is a part of what helped him?
Yes, absolutely, a major
Good.
part.
You look like you're in your late 20s, early 30s. How old are you?
I'm 52.
52?
Yes.
You in good shape?
Yes, I run marathons.
Marathons?
Yes.
All right. So you're a marathon running, very healthy parent and individual, still trying to convince your husband to make better choices.
Yes.
All right. So I'm assuming then that you read up on this?
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
All informed, and I read a lot about what makes us healthy.
Did you used to eat hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, colas, coffee?
I did.
You
Yes,
did?
Yes.
All right. You don't do that today?
No, I was very fat and very unhealthy, and today I'm very healthy.
Oh, good. And how long have you been a chef?
For about 2 years now.
What did you do before then?
Police officer.
For how many years?
For 20 years.
Oh, you're retired?
I'm retired.
And your husband?
Same thing, police officer retired.
All right. You know, most police officers don't eat healthy.
No. And when you do eat healthy, they look at you like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with us,
Very
Denise.
welcome.
Maya,
Yes.
if you had a choice of seeing all the foods in a restaurant or in a supermarket, health food store, labeled, would you prefer they be labeled to their source of either organic or genetically engineered? Or no labels at all?
In a restaurant, well, normally in a restaurant when you eat out, they aren't labeled, but in a store, yeah, definitely labeled. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have the right answer for that. Probably I'd want to know if there were,
Would you want to know if your food, the wheat in your bread, the corn, the soy, was genetically engineered by taking a virus from here and matching it with something over here, what they call frankenfoods? Would you want to know if you're eating that or not?
yeah, definitely.
All right. Would you buy it? Would
Probably not. No.
would you buy organic?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I know that organic is less pesticides, and there has to be a certain certification for how you grow organically, and it improves the way you're growing. It makes you more conscious, and I think that it just becomes a higher consciousness of what you're making.
How old are you?
25.
All right. Do you find your generation is, or at least a segment of your generation is more conscious of the choices you're making in food?
I think my generation is more aware to what other people are making conscious. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking the other night about people eating gluten-free and how that's become very trendy and everybody's gluten-free now. But it's not necessarily that they have a gluten allergy. It's just because that's what's become popular. So I think that my generation is easily swayed by what people say is better for you. You know?
All right. But still, your generation is consuming the most animal products, hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, junk food, sugar, soft drinks in American history.
I'm not. I'm vegan.
You're vegan?
I am.
Good. Do you feel different?
I do.
Did you ever eat the junk foods?
I sure did.
And what was the difference?
Well, I became vegan because I got very sick from eating dairy and animal products. So it was a health choice more than a moral choice, which I guess eventually becomes a moral choice the longer you're a part of it. But
So would you go back to eating dairy and junk foods?
No, because I got too sick, so I can't.
Are you sick now?
No,
So you're healthy now?
I am healthy.
Do you think you've influenced other people in your generation?
It's hard to say. I know that I have friends that aren't vegan, but when they eat with me, they'll eat vegan. But I don't know if that's an everyday choice for them. But definitely when they're with me, they're more conscious about
So
it.
you seek out vegan restaurants? We have a vegan restaurant right here.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you find most of the people eating in these restaurants younger, middle-aged, or older?
This one's very hard to say exactly. I feel like there's a good mix in this restaurant, definitely. I think that...
At 82nd in Amsterdam, it's almost 90% young people.
Okay. I haven't been around this area that much, so I don't know. But this restaurant, we have a good mix. We have families, we have older guests, we have younger guests. We had somebody that came in last night for dinner, and they were, it was a 9-year-old celebrating her birthday, and she was vegan. So there's definitely a big mix of guests that we have that have that lifestyle, vegan lifestyle.
Something we're seeing more and more of in major cities like New York and Los Angeles, Chicago, and South Beach are restaurants like this, Organic Cuisine, Candle Cafe West. There are, I think, 3 of these Candle Cafes in New York City, and they're packed. They have beautiful ambiance, great cuisines. Now, I've spoken with hundreds of people, and they say they intentionally go to a place like this because they want organic. They don't want genetically engineered. They want healthy food, they want locally grown, and they want it beautifully presented. They're getting all that in these. these are growing phenomenally. Now, just in this area where we're at now, one block over here is Mana Cafe, Ozu Cafe. We have 7 vegan organic cafes within 6 blocks on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. If we went down in the Village, we'd have double that number. 10 years ago, you might have had 2 or 3, not now. So when you have thousands of people a week going into just one restaurant, and you have at least 50 of these restaurants, it's because people's consciousness is being raised. Summarizing what we've learned today, at the farmers market at Union Square, Manhattan, the Upper West Side, where we're at now, and Columbia University, right outside the gates and across the street from Barnard College, virtually everyone we've spoken to, they want organic, they don't want genetically engineered, but they want to see if the genetically engineered is there, it should be labeled.